Welcome to the Healing Hour, and I'm your host, Tyhson, Banighen, the Energy Detective, and I'm here for you for the next hour to answer all your questions on dowsing and energy healing. You can phone in toll-free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. The number should be on the screen as you watch the show. We have the one and only Kory Varlen with us today, astrology par excellence. And she's going to talk about the energies of what's showing up on planet Earth now as we're going through massive change and transformation. But this time she's disembodied. We can't get her video working, but she'll be lurking in the background, voice only. So Kory, welcome to the show. What's up on planet Earth?
Hi, Tyhson. First of all, can you hear me all right? I know you can't see me, but
yeah, I can hear you.
I can see you, my dear.
Good.
Well, lovely. So actually today I wanted to talk about what it means to be a Cancerian, because we are living through the time of Cancer, and I'm sure we have many listeners who were born under the sign of Cancer. So I would like to, first of all, give a certain amount of information about what Cancerians are known for, and some of their particular characteristics are really not the most, I'd say, accurate, and there's a lot of negative tendencies associated with Cancerians. So I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed on what the real Cancer archetype is all about. And so that means if you have not only your sun sign in the time of Cancer, but if your moon sign or your ascendant or any significant planet is in the sign of Cancer, you're going to want to hear this.
All right. What are we going to hear?
Well, I first of all want to say that Cancerians are, above all else, known for their domesticity and being very family oriented. And I think that is true. I think
I would agree. I would agree there.
Yeah.
Good at making homes.
And just think about all the Cancers that you know. People born from June 21st to July 22nd. Just everyone reflect on those people. And you will notice that they are all extremely emotionally sensitive. And you can really easily hurt Cancerians' feelings. And I know I've been involved with a number of Cancerians in my life, and it's so true. They're just so emotionally sensitive, and they're also incredibly intuitive. They're not psychic. That's a misnomer. A lot of people think that the Cancer sign is psychic. They're not, but they are intuitive because they have this ability to really connect in to those people that are closest to them, right? So if you are close to a Cancerian, they are going to be able to read you.
I found they make really good homebodies. Like they arrange everything with really elegance, right?
Well, what they're known for, basically, Tyson, is they have an ability to create what's called a cosmic egg, which
Ah,
is this really delicious, safe space around, truly the people that they love. And it's quite noticeable. If you walk into a Cancerian home, they just, you know, they've got the tea on and they've got the biscuits and the cookies ready, and they'll even give you a foot rub.
that's right. And they have the best of everything, the best towels, the best linen, everything's in order. Yeah, I just love being around a Cancerian. It just, there's order and beauty and class.
Hmm. And often the classiness comes from the fact that they've got some Leo in them, because when you're born under a particular zodiac sign, 9 out of 10 chances are you've got a planet in the next sign, like Venus or Mercury, because those two planets don't move that far away from the sun. Their orbits don't don't go out like Saturn or Uranus or Pluto. But
Wow.
I do want to comment on some of the negative tendencies of Cancerians, because that also gives Cancerians a bad rap. So here we go. Some of the most negative tendencies of Cancerians is their ability to smother the people that they love. And they're not all like that, but they do have a tendency towards, this helicopter parenting thing that's going on now. They do have a tendency, because they just love you so much and they want to keep you safe, right? And if that goes too far on the continuum, they do smother the people that they love.
Well, I don't know. I've never been quite smothered, but I know what you mean. There's just that warm, cuddling feeling of taking care of you. You feel like, wow, just the cooking and the baking and the home and everything is just like so inviting, right?
Right. And so my cautionary message to all Cancerians out there is just watch this tendency, because if you can feel it, and people know when they're doing this, they just have a tendency, because again, they're trying to create that safe space, right? They're trying to make everything safe, and you can go overboard on that. And like all of the zodiac signs, it's just kind of a way of living. It's just a process, basically. And Cancerians want to make you safe, and so because of that, they can be smothering. And so, kind of thing of smothering and mothering. And
Really,
unfortunately, that S comes in front of the M.
yeah. Well, as a Libra, I like a little smothering as long as it isn't too overwhelming.
Well, here's the good news about Cancerians is they bring our attention to the emotional and the personal qualities of relationships, and that's par excellence what they do. So, if you want to really see how how to get into somebody's head, just find somebody with a Cancer ascendant, or especially a moon in Cancer. And these people, they they can't be alone, because they have to get into the emotional space of somebody else. If you see somebody, if I have a client and they have a moon in Cancer or a Cancer ascendant, one of the most difficult things to deal with is their aloneness.
Right. Yes, that's true. A relationship is very, very important to them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So,
Wow. So how does that maybe affect other signs? Because we're going into Cancer. Does that sort of like a big crayon color everybody's energy?
well, so this is why I created my Astral Inspiration cards, because we are going through the time of Cancer right now. And so when you look at the energy of every day during the time of Cancer, what it does, Tyson, is it invites all of us to experience, regardless of your zodiac sign,
Mhm.
it gives you the potential to experience what what Cancerians go through every freaking day of their life. And so today is July the 5th, and today the energy is particularly strong in the ability to really I'd say, invite people into the world of cancer and to give you a sense of just the strength of Cancerians. People born today, if you're born today or yesterday, the 4th, the 5th, or the 6th, there's like an audacity about people born around this time of the Cancerian cycle. And there's no question that July the 4th, which was the big holiday in the States, is all about, it's like being first. It's like it's this energy of, I'm here. And,
Right,
and,
I've
you're,
arrived.
and you're going to notice me like, yes, I've arrived.
Yeah.
And so there's this wonderful ability to strut your stuff yesterday and today. And so based on your question, I would just encourage people to strut their stuff today and give themselves their own invitation, to get out there and show the world how much you care, how much you are able to be emotionally sensitive to people's feelings, and to really reach out to your family members, because Cancerians par excellence are very domesticated.
So they could be, so if you're American, you could be Captain America for the day.
Absolutely. And that's just so important today, because today carries a very strong energy. It's July the 5th, and the energy of this particular day is all about audacity. People who have my cards know this, because the cosmic algorithms are spelled out every day in my decks. So I would just really encourage people to, again, create a safe space. And if it's not for anybody else, do it for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's certainly where we are here. We've been all in the midst of creating safe space. We're in the midst of moving from into the summer routine here with creating new spaces to live and new ways of coming together collectively and individually. So we're really, sort of a bit topsy-turvy here as we get things reestablished and grounded again for the summer duration here. So yeah, lots of homebody stuff and thinking about how to process cherries and canning, and there's a lot of mothering, taking care of each other on how do we do this now and into the fall and then into the winter. So
great. And I actually have something really important to say about something that you just referred to. As you may know, we came out of the Mercury retrograde. Yes. And the Mercury retrograde actually started around the end of May. And so what's happened now is the planet Mercury has regained its position just before it started to retrograde. And what this means, Tyhson, is that in the last, I'd say 6 weeks, a lot of people have felt like they've been backtracking. You know, that feeling where you feel like you're kind of losing ground and you're kind of...
Well, no, it's sort of like cleanup time, right? Like getting things organized and revamped and going through things. It's sort of like the spring cleaning, a late spring cleaning. Mm-hmm. Early summer cleaning, right? Like top to bottom, like everything's been going through. And does this stay? Does this go? Does, it's just the whole, literally top to bottom, restructuring, reorganizing, rethinking, personal, relationship, business-wise, homebody-wise, everything. It just is in major transformation.
Right, and actually that makes sense, because when Mercury goes retrograde, it basically makes us go into that RE mode, like the redo, refinish, remodel. Everything has to get kind of reorganized. And so that started at the end of May, and we came out of the Mercury retrograde around the 22nd of June. But what I'm suggesting is that it isn't until today and tomorrow that we're going to feel like we're really making progress again, because everything that happens under a Mercury retrograde has this quality of having to refinish and redo things. And a lot of people,
I agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so a lot of people are feeling like they're just starting to make headway again.
Well, we have a caller here, so let's see what's up. So Joanna, welcome to the Healing Hour, and how can we help you?
Well, thank you so much, Tyhson. I have chronic pain, and I'm wondering if you can give any tips on how I can use both your clearing protocol, deep clearing protocol, as well as the pendulum in general to reduce pain.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I mean, the pain is always sort of the body giving you a message that you haven't been able to receive yet. So, and when it's chronic pain, it means that it's fundamental change and transformation that needs to occur. So, you know, what is it in you that you're not dealing with or haven't felt comfortable to deal with? Does it, when I say that, is there anything pops into your mind, right, intuitively?
Well, I have had it for a very long time, so many approaches have been taken. I mean, I feel like it's kind of beating a dead horse. So many things have been done, and when I say so many things, it's not necessarily bad that I have done so many things. So no, if I knew what was causing it, I would have figured it out a long time ago. I have no idea.
All right, well, let me try it again. So intuitively, without even putting your brain into it, what is it? Play with me.
Well, okay, what is it?
Yeah.
Unconscious anger.
Okay, great. Well done. Okay. About what?
Being in pain.
Being in what? Being in pain. Yeah, okay. But there's something, yeah, but the being unconscious anger is correct. And you're, of course, that's about being in pain, but what's the fundamental thing that's caused you the pain? Is it a relationship? Is it the loss of a loved one? Is it a near-death experience? Is it a trauma that you've had?
Good suggestion there. My sister was killed by a drunk driver.
Well, there you are.
And
that's
then,
a good one.
Shortly, I would say within a year after that, the pain started. It just didn't come out of the blue, but I had a procedure that started the pain.
All right. So have you ever thought to your sister's still hanging around?
I hope she's in heaven.
I know,
I don't
but
think she's hanging around.
Well, I get a sense that she is.
Tyhson, can I interrupt? Because
yeah,
I have
of course
a suggestion. What I do when I work with clients is I often answer their questions based on just, you know, the energy of the moment. And would this client like me, would this caller like me to share what I'm seeing astrologically?
Sure. Are you open to that? Yeah, the answer is yes.
What is your name?
Johanna. Johanna.
Johanna, do you know what the stars are telling me?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well.
Do you know what the stars are telling you?
Well, I'm just going to tell you what the stars are telling me is the reason why you are having this extreme pain is that you are carrying an incredible amount of deep resentment that is just stuck in your body.
So did you hear that?
Yes, resentment is a horrible thing. It's very acidic.
Yeah, and you're deep in your body. That's why you want to do the Sarah water filter to alkalize your body. That's why you're intuitively going that way. So yeah, what I'm saying and Kory is saying are both one and the same thing from two different perspectives. So keep going, Kory.
Well, I can just see that this lady is really suffering. I mean, this is not in her head. This is
I know it's not in her head.
Yeah, this is physical pain. And if you are my client, Joanna, I would tell you that this energy is extremely deep in your body and it's in your lower chakras. It's in your first and second chakras. And I would suggest that I would direct all healing and prayers to that second chakra area of your body to release this energy that's around you. And I would call on your grandmother. Your mother's mother is able to help you with this.
Yeah, I'm still getting a really clear feeling, and let me go with this psychically, is that there's something with regard to your sister, whether I don't know whether you feel responsible for what happened to her, or you wish you had been there to solve it for her, or you know, does anything what I'm saying making sense? Because there's something in there with about regard to your sister that has been unrealized.
Yes, that makes sense. When you get that call, which God forbid, I hope no one ever has or does.
Yeah.
It is so overwhelming and surreal. So what we, meaning my mother and I, were dealing with was not only the loss, but the shock.
Right. So I think that's still reverberating in your system. So are you ready, willing, and able to let go of that shock and trauma?
I would love to.
All right. So then I'm going to do a short clearing on that. Of course, you can come onto the show and record it, but you also have the short form and you can adapt the wording to suit you. So I'm going to have you do it. So just say, in my I am presence, and state your full name.
In my I am presence, Johanna Robinson.
I ask that all trauma, core fractures, and toxic emotions
and toxic emotions
related to my sister,
Kitty,
be removed from my energy field now and forevermore. And I clear myself throughout all time, space, and dimensions. And I clear my matriarchal, patriarchal lineage. Soul family, star family, and family of origin. Soul family. Soul family.
Whole family?
Soul, your soul.
Soul family, star family, and
family of origin.
Family of origin.
Yes, and I declare it so in my holy name.
And I declare it so in my holy name.
So be it, it is done, thank you.
So be it, it is done, thank you. And thank you, Tyhson.
All right, just going to check into the field and see if there's shifting going on here. Yeah, there's still shifting. They're at about 50 and it's starting to go to 75. And there's still quite a bit of activity. So you'll probably, so I would just rest now and give yourself a good half hour of doing absolutely nothing. Take a good drink of water and just let the dissipate out of your body. Then when you're finished, that half hour, then make a clear installation like I am a sovereign human being, free and clear of any blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And what was the nice lady's name?
Our name is Kory Varlen, Kory Varlen, Varlen. You just Google her. She gives excellent readings and well worth having a session with her.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. If I just stay on this call, I'll be on the thing, right?
Yeah, but you need to get off because there's somebody else that was phoning in while we were talking. So, but if you jump on to, if you go to YouTube and type in the Wellness Academy on YouTube, you'll watch the show there. It's live.
Okay. Yeah, will do. And thank you, everybody.
All right.
Take care.
All right. Thanks for phoning in, Joanna. Bye for now.
Bye.
All right. The line is now open. Toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. Feel free to phone in. Somebody phoned in while we're on the midst of the other call. So please feel free to call in now. The lines are now open. Any question with regard to your moon rising, astrological signs, deep clearing, getting out of your way, taking back your personal power, standing in your strength, delivering your awesome gifts to the world. All those are great questions, but we're open for anything and everything. So don't be shy, phone in and we'll see what we can do for you. Toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464 and standing by for your call. So back over to you, Kory. We were talking about the Cancerian energies and what's coming up and how it affects all the other signs of what we're going into. And I wasn't sure with your cards, what is the card for today saying?
Well, actually, first of all, I wanted to thank Joanna for calling in.
Yes, absolutely.
It's really important that people have the courage to call. So many people, they'll sit back and they'll just listen, and that's okay. But it's like my mom used to always say, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. You've got to be brave enough. You got to have the audacity, and that's what the card is for today. Have the audacity. Don't wait for an invitation. Step up to the front of the line and say, hey, I'm here. I need some healing. I need some help. Because the whole Cancerian energy, Tyhson, is about caring for each other. That is the message of Cancerians. That is the process that we all get to live through during this time. It's reaching out to your family members, to those people that you're part of the cosmic egg, and it's just such a wonderful time. And we're just coming to the end. The moon's been traveling through the sign of Taurus in the last couple of days, And I have to think for all of our American friends, boy, I bet you they've had a real, food and drink and festive weekend, because when the sun's in Cancer and the moon is traveling through Taurus, it's just such a feel good time. It's like just break out the drinks and break out the kebabs, and here we go. So it's been, I think, quite a decadent time. I'm sure the weekends, sure a lot of people are recovering today.
Yeah, I liked what you said about the sort of the cosmic egg, and we're all in this cosmic egg together. So, after you had the courage to phone in, it's great, because most likely the question you're asking is probably the question that the other person that's shy hasn't had the courage to phone in about. So, because we're all connected, your question can really not only help release yourself, but other people that may be listening to the call now and in the
Exactly.
future.
Yeah. And what I think that Joanna has done, and what you've done, Tyson, with your brilliant contribution here, because I can see patterns when I just look at the sky. 2,000 years ago, or if I had been living in the Mayan or the Aztec times, we would have had to have sacrificed something. But now I just look up into the sky and I can see what the pattern means. And I think for a lot of callers today, like Joanna, I think a lot of people are dealing with some very deep um, traumatic issues related to their family. Like you hit it right on when you talked about her sister, because I can see that and see the loss. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of today, whether you call in or not, I think it behooves all of us to just take a few moments and just, put our hands on our hearts and get your rose quartz crystals and just cover your heart, whether physically or emotionally, with, just beautiful rose quartz healing energy, because we all will benefit from that today.
Well, what I love about the call from Joanna is that people tend to say, like she did, is I just don't know. I've been working on this for years, and if I knew the answer, I'd have it done. And then you ask them to bypass their intellectual mind and just intuitively, what would it be? And invariably they nail it right on the head. They get it like instantaneously, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if they're really not really sure, like I was teaching a couple of weekends ago, just start breathing in through that left nostril.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so let's talk about that left nostril again. Thank you for reminding me. I was doing it on the call, but then I forgot in the busy schedule of this week. So talk about that left nostril breathing again, please.
Right. Well, you take your right thumb
Yeah.
and you put your right thumb against your right nostril. So basically, this means you're only going to be breathing in and out through your left nostril. And what that does is it fuels the right half of the brain, which controls and opens up the ability to see the big picture, to see the holistic patterns of whatever you're dealing with. It's a powerful, powerful Buddhist technique. So if we all want to try it together, just put your right thumb up against your right nostril. And you're going to do this about 3 or 4 times. And every time you breathe in and you breathe out through your left nostril, you're going to do it as comfortably as you can, but each time a little longer and a little deeper. And that will open up your right hemisphere. You want to try it?
Boy, I'm doing it.
Good.
One
Good.
other tip that goes with this is Dowsers have found and psychics that if you tilt your head 10 degrees up, your eyes up, and you do the same, you go into that delta brainwave
Yes,
as well. So
absolutely.
put the two together, and boy,
Yeah,
well, I don't know if we can carry it on the show, but let's try it.
I love it. I used to do the alternate nostril breathing technique because I've been doing yoga since I was 11, and that's wonderful too. But this particular technique was introduced back into the Western hemisphere by a scientific journalist by the name of James Nestor. And you can find him online. And James talks about all these wonderful breathing techniques. And this is the fastest way to open up your right hemisphere.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten up in the morning and you do nostril breathing and you go to do the one nostril and it's absolutely plugged, right? Because you're either in one side of the brain or the other, and you can't even breathe through that nostril.
Well, I've been quite fortunate. I've got pretty good breathing capacity. I've never had that, but yeah,
Well, that's certainly going to happen to me. I don't know if it's happened recently, but sometimes when you get up, you just can't, there's one nostril that's dominant and the other you just can't breathe through. And now that I understand the right brain, the left brain, it's going to be really interesting to see where the energy is jammed up, which part of the brain is on and what part of the brain is off, right? Like a light switch. So something to keep in mind when you wake up in the morning. Can you breathe equally powerfully through each nostril? Right. So, wow, I'm getting dizzy already.
Yeah, it works very, very fast. It's a very efficient technique. I guess it's because I'm a Taurus. I like to do things that work. I don't have much time for a lot of BS. There's so many theories and people touting their particular techniques, and that's great. And if it works, it works. But I go with what works. That's what people pay me for.
Keep it, the kiss, not keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Yeah,
I find,
but not stupid. Keep it sacred. Keep it simple and sacred.
Well, if you notice, like you were saying earlier about how you notice Cancerians have a lot of elegance and style, and that's usually because there's a sense of simplicity about when you go into a Cancerian's home.
Yeah, there's no clutter.
Yeah, there usually isn't, and if there is clutter, then that's a sign that there's something off. There's some emotional problem going on in that home.
Yeah, very much.
Clutter is a sign that there's more than just your physical space that's in overdrive.
Well, you better not see my office at the moment. We are in the midst of revamping it, but oh my God, it's like Einstein. I mean, the only thing I can say is that Einstein's office was a disaster, so maybe there's hope for me.
Well, I'm amazed actually how some people are super able to figure out where everything is, even when to an onlooker it looks like it's a disaster. But a lot of those scientific types, they know where all those journals are, and
I agree with that.
They know where the files are.
Yeah, I'm that way. I used to know where every book is, and then Sarah would come along and rearrange it, and then I'd be hooped, right? But I can pretty well tell you what part of the library will have what, right? But when it gets shifted, I'm lost, right?
Yeah. Well, I also wanted to mention something about Tauruses, because this is today the moon is still in Taurus.
Right.
And what I wanted to just tell my Taurian friends out there is that we're finally able. Tauruses have been going through a bit of a difficult time financially in the last 6 weeks because of the Mercury retrograde. And I just wanted to say that things are finally starting to move forward for most Taurians. So if you are a Taurus or you have a Taurus ascendant, what that means is that the delays that you've been experiencing, maybe job hunting or trying to put forward, just trying to improve your conditions, that's going to start to pick up. The pace will start picking up very, very quickly today, especially tomorrow, because it's kind of like there's this cloud that a lot of Taurians have been under, and the cloud is lifting in the next 24 to 48 hours. It's going to be very noticeable. And I'm very happy if any Taurus wants to call me and just confirm this. I'm very happy to just give you guys the go ahead. It's definitely.
If you're a Taurus yourself, when's your birthday?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm born May 6th.
May 6th?
Yes. So I'm right in the middle of the sign. I'm a true Taurus.
Yeah, right. A true blue Taurus, right? Top to bottom.
Yeah. Well, when you're born in the middle of the signs, especially Taurus or Leo or Aquarius or Scorpio, you've got the full impact of the astrological message.
No, there's no wiggle room, eh?
Pray not.
No, yeah. All right. Wow, that tells me a lot about you right there. Boom, Mike.
Well, and it's interesting because today, the moon is in Taurus, and it really, and also the planet Uranus is in Taurus, and the planet Uranus is dealing with a very tight configuration with Venus and Mars and Saturn today, and so
powerful day for Taurians.
Well, and it's actually a very powerful day for all of us because
Right.
it shows that wherever we're stuck, there's a darn good reason why we're stuck. And it's usually because um, we're not that open to really, moving ahead. And so I would encourage anybody that's stuck or in pain today to really look at your resistance because and I just know this because I study the moon and the lunar eclipses. When the moon's in Taurus, it really shows us where we are stubborn, like
Yeah.
why we aren't willing to move ahead. Because all the great psychologists will tell you this. There is a payoff for all of our resistance.
Yeah, and for me, the chaos is and the resistance is surrender. So that's the big one for me, right? Yeah. Stop trying.
Yeah, and there's a reason why a lot of people won't surrender because there's a payoff for not surrendering.
Yeah, there's a feeling of loss of control. The ego wants to have that control. I mean, what do you mean surrender? I could die.
Well, and unfortunately, a lot of people would rather die and suffer than surrender and move towards the light. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
There's a lot, believe it or not, there's a big payoff in being a martyr
Yeah.
and feeling like, oh, well, poor woe is me. It's like, we know this.
Yeah,
And at some point, the pain gets so bad, you finally have to say, like, okay, forget it. I give up.
Yeah, and this is not the Piscean age. I mean, we're coming to the end of the Piscean age, which required that sacrifice and persecution and all that rest. That was sort of the royal road to enlightenment was, and resurrection. But we're into the age of Aquarius, which is completely different. We don't need to do that sacrifice of the body or, give up an arm or whatever. This is not that time, right? So yet our whole culture sort of stuck still in that Piscean where we have to suffer in order to succeed or work hard or whatever that mythology that comes from that belief of that's really Piscean.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ring true with you, Kory, or what?
Well, we're all, we've got this brain, which is like, the hardware, but we've got culture, which is the software. And our culture is, we're constantly updating and we're constantly, rebooting our software, which is the culture that we live in. And the culture is changing, Tyhson. There's no doubt about it. The culture is changing. And that is why there is so much agony and frustration going on because we've got everybody who wants to hang on and we've got who are trying to move us forward. And so we're living in very, very tumultuous times.
Right, my way or the highway. So I missed that. So you were saying that the culture is the software. So what's the hardware?
The hardware is the physical brain, and it's the way we're born into the world with a body, and we have a brain that works, but we also have the ability to, it's called the epigenetics. Like we have our genetics, and then we have the epigenetics, which is our culture, it's our family, it's our environment.
Right.
And the epigenetics can totally change the way that you have, come into the world, genetically speaking, with your particular gifts and
yeah, absolutely.
And I see that all the time.
I had a client phone in just before the show, and I asked her to phone in during the show, and that was the conversation we were saying is that, at this particular time with so much planetary change and transformation, the raising of the vibrational frequency because all of the planetary alignments and, and being aligned to galactic center, blah, blah, blah. There's so much energy floating in that, sometimes it's really good to say, hey, I want to put a hold on all this ancestral clearing for the moment. I need to deal with my own SHIT, right? I need to get myself grounded and be able to stand in my truth before I take on all the rest of it. And so sometimes it's good to be able to step back and say, yeah, I understand that this ancestral stuff, the societal, the epigenetics is important, but it's all right to give yourself a break and do some of your own deep work so that you're not trying to do so many things simultaneously and really get yourself into overwhelm.
Well, I want to say something about that because we are in the time of Cancer, and the archetype of Cancer, as I said earlier, was about creating. Remember that cosmic egg?
Yeah.
And there is nothing better that you can do in the time of cancer than do some family research? Because the sun is moving towards the middle of the sign, which it will hit tomorrow. And so tomorrow will have the full impact of what it means to be a Cancerian. And so all of us get to imbibe in that particular flavor. And then as the sun starts moving towards Pluto, that's going to happen in about 11 days. So in the next 10 to 11 days, all of us could go through like a mini investigation that can help us, towards transforming our life. And our family story is a big part of that.
All right, so I'm going to do a deep clearing, a little short clearing for this Cancerian point that we're in, for everybody on the call and listening to the call in the future. So this is for everybody on the show. So I'll just keep it short. So I, Tyhson Banighen, in my I Am presence, with authority granted to me through my light team and particularly through Archangel Michael, undertake a clearing of all the ancestral baggage, both particularly non-beneficial energy that could be overwhelming, and ask that it be cleared through the matriarchal, patriarchal, soul family, star family, and family of origin, and that we learn all these lessons that need be, and let's put all of that in ourselves into the full court of atonement for restitution according to the law of one, which is do no harm and the most benevolent outcome for all concerned. So we can learn all of what we need, both individually and collectively through our ancestral lineage with some ease and grace. And I declare it so in my holy name. So be it, it is done. Thank you. So just letting it let the pendulum, finish doing its clearing and come to rest. So that will just help. And if you just follow along using words similar to that, you get to be the captain of your own life by making clearing statements about what you'd like to clear out of your life and what you would like to install, because it's like ordering pizza. If you don't put in the order, you don't get the pizza. And if you're not clear of the order or the pizza, you're going to get toppings that you didn't want or didn't order, or you forgot to order the topping and you're upset that you didn't. So being clear about what you want and what you don't want is really important, because we're getting closer and closer to that time of almost instant manifestation, right? I don't know about you, but it gets a bit scary when I think about instant manifestation and the way my brain works. A lot of what I'm instantaneously thinking about, I don't want it to manifest. But we are getting closer and closer to that. So there you are, short clearing for all the energies that have to do, ancestral energies. Let's help bring that to resolution for everybody in the lineage. And just one more thing, when you're doing the deep clearing protocol or the short clearing, and you're bringing yourself into alignment in your body, full body enlightenment, by doing the clearing, you are clearing 134,000 souls through your lineage, both into the past and into the future. So well worth doing the work. So don't forget, the line is open, 1-866-369-7464. We don't mind talking to each other, but we'd really love to help you get an insight about what's happening in your life. So feel free to phone in. So back to you, Kory.
Well, I just wanted to mention that it's the Dalai Lama's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, wonderful. I love the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, and what today is all about, Tyhson, and how I came up with the word audacity for today is that the sun right now up in the sky, like if we were to have a solar eclipse and, the sky would go, black, basically, you would see behind the sun, you would see the star called Sirius. And a lot of people know the star. Sirius is a star that is just famous in astronomy and cosmology. It's known as the dog star, and it gives confidence. It's one of the most powerful metaphysical energies that's available for us. And so anybody listening today, I want you to know that you have the inner strength, you have the courage, and you certainly have the confidence to start whatever you may feel inspired to do, whether it's, myself or Tyhson's encouraging you to, do some clearing. I just want to say with the help of Sirius, because that's where the sun, you have to imagine the sun is in the front, focusing this energy of Sirius. And it just gives us the ability to really just to really pursue, and to pursue with passion, but to pursue knowing that there is success available for all of us today if we do the work.
Yeah, let me just talk about, when suns are aligned like that, one's radiating onto the other. It's like the Ukrainian dolls, one nested inside of the other. So when suns are aligned in that way, it magnitudes the power, not, geometrically. I mean, that's actually geometrically. So it's not 1 + 1 is 2. It's actually, a geometrical progression in the energy. So that's a lot of energy that's coming through our sun, right?
Yes, it's a powerful magnification of the energy, and
Yeah.
that's again, it's a resonance, it's a process, and I'm just so thrilled to be able to share that, and just to tell people that, you know, this is not magic, this is not foo
Oh, it's
foo.
alignment, right? It's alignment.
What it is, it's like, I mean, seriously, we have to get rid of this idea that if we can't see it, it's not real. Like, we have to start realizing that as we're talking, we are moving into a new time frame. We're moving into a new culture. And this is the culture that does not require that we are able to see and measure and weigh things. We can feel things. We can just know things.
Right.
And that is part of the beautiful energy of the Cancerian archetype. Like, Cancerians are intuitive and they just know shit. And you got to know that this is happening today and go with the flow. Like, harness that right hemisphere of your brain, and you'll feel it.
Right. So maybe put your left brain in neutral and maybe put it in coasting so that intuitive part can take over, right?
Well, we all need both sides. There is an asymmetry in the brain, and that's the way it is. And in most species, in their body and in their brain structure. And we need the left side, we need the left hemisphere, and we need the right hemisphere. They have different jobs.
Yeah, I
But,
agree with that.
but the right hemisphere is primarily the part that sees the big picture. And that's what we all need to develop even more, more.
Yeah, to get out of this predicament that's coming from the left brain, because we think that we know the answers to everything at the global to the local level when we don't, because we're in the way of understanding the solution because we don't see the bigger picture. So I agree with you totally.
Yeah.
I always like to say, we want harmony between the left brain and the right brain. A whole brain is better than no brain at all.
Well,
and actually, I teach that as a matter of fact. I have a whole process of what we call it. I call it consensus through guidance, where you actually talk about something and coming up with a solution, and then somebody calls for an attunement, and everybody goes still and goes inwardly to that still point, and then receives guidance, and then we talk about the guidance we received. It's like spokes on the wheel, right? It builds the wheel, and then it goes back to being intellectual and talking about it, and then somebody calls for attunement. I've actually seen stewardship agreements written that way, where the actual words come through about what to put on the paper. So it's very, very powerful when you use a whole brain to make decisions or to come to consensus rather than just trying to stick with one side of the brain or the other.
Yeah, I agree. It's important to be able to make your assessment from many different levels and just to merge, just merge it all, and you'll get you'll get more of a holistic approach when you activate both sides.
Well, we're coming to 10 more minutes on the show. We do have time for somebody to phone in and have a session with us. It's toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. The number's on your screen. Don't forget, you can ask any question about dowsing, energy healing. What is your moon rising? What does your sun sign mean to you? A view into that part of your life. Any questions about any healing or transmutation that you're in the midst of, or any clearing, or any dowsing questions or healing questions that you have, it's all fair game. So feel free to phone in. You're more than welcome, and we love to be able to help you stand in your truth no matter what.
Right, and I just encourage everybody to rely not just on your intuition. You know, critical analysis is always important, but today of all days, because the sun is directly focusing the energy of Sirius for all earthlings, I would just say pursue your dreams. Just know that you can do this. You have the courage and you have the audacity to do it.
The audacity. I love that word, audacity.
I know, I do too. That's the word on the card for today, audacity.
Audacity.
Yes.
Yes. Chutzpah. Chutzpah.
Yes, chutzpah.
The wherewithal to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. So it's been stinking hot here, and I was just down doing ceremony down the valley, and it's even hotter down there. My goodness, it's just like, just really we're in the midst of a heat wave. We're just finishing off the cherries here and processing like crazy in our little 0.88 hectares of land here, and the garden seems to be doing very well. I have to water like crazy. Yeah, so lots happening here. And don't forget, we at 3 o'clock today is the Garden Like a Guru show. Come and join us. There's 2 ways you can do that. You can just type in the wellness show on Facebook and join us there, or you can do go to the Wellness Academy YouTube channel and watch us live there as well. So number of ways, YouTube or Facebook, and also in the show notes will be the linkage so that you can listen to it after the fact. And of course, it's also will be available and uploaded as a podcast. So why not learn how to grow your own food? There's nothing better than having the food right out of your garden and on your table, because all of that astrological energy, all that angelic and all that elemental energy that you put into those seeds and nurturing and taking care of them means when that fruit or vegetable is ripe, it has every nutrient that you could ever want for your body at the time that it's ripe and ready to eat. So there's no way on the planet that you can get more specialized, energetic, cosmically oriented food for you than to learn how to grow your own garden biodynamically that's aligning with the stars and the moon. So if you'd like to learn how to do that, don't forget, you can tune into the show and you can watch all of the videos from the very, very beginning, all the way from how to start the seeds all the way through. It'll be a whole year-long show, and it's available. And if you want to join the Inner Garden Circle, you can do that at $33 a month. You will get the journal and biodynamic calendar, and also some consultation available. And at the $99 a month, you get to have, for sure, consultation with the garden guru herself, which is Sarah Bradshaw. So lots to learn. This is the time where we need to become self-sufficient on every level of our being, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and organically with our food. So I'm going to listen to the show.
So, Tyhson, you probably know, because I'm sure you plant by the moon, but we are in the dark of the moon phase now. And so for people who don't know their moon phase, I encourage you to book a session with me so you can find out when that is, because that is your power time every month. We're now in the dark of the moon, because Friday will have the new moon. And anybody who knows about planting knows that in the dark of the moon, that's the time when you dig up your potatoes and, you know, you work with the plants that are underground. So if you're harvesting, it's good to harvest anything that is below ground level, as opposed to the new moon, which will be on Friday, which is a wonderful time when you go above ground. And that's usually when the fruits of the trees are the sweetest.
Right. And that's why the cherries are so delicious. So here's the calendar here. If you want to, it's still available to order. The Garden Like a Guru calendar, which has all the biodynamic, you know, whether it is the moon, what's the time to plant, what's the time to do. Like Kory says, there's a time to do everything and time to do it. And even sometimes when you're not supposed to be working in the garden. And this is also what I offer, which is an assessment of your property. And from other experienced dowsers that have worked with landowners, particularly in the area of vegetable production and farming, we've been able to increase their return on their land by working with the elemental angelic kingdom as much as 30% increase in profitability by working on the multidimensional levels on your farm or in your garden. So exciting, right? Who doesn't want to have a 30% increase of vitality in the food that you eat? So we got 5 minutes to go. We still have room for another caller. So phone in toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. And let's round off the show with somebody asking a question. I know we had somebody phone in, but I was on the other call. So unfortunately, we missed that person.
Well, since the moon is just moving very, very quickly now through the end of Taurus, what I would suggest is for Tuesday and Wednesday, when the moon goes into Gemini, all the Geminis out there, and by opposition, all the Sagittarians. So for you, Tyhson, that should be good. The next couple of days, Tuesday and Wednesday, should be quite beneficial for you because I know you have your moon in Sagittarius.
Right.
And that'll probably be more active as we move towards the Wednesday, Thursday time period. But for our listeners today, if you are a Gemini or you have a Gemini ascendant or your moon's in Gemini, when the moon goes through Gemini every 29 and a half days, it will light you up. So that's something nice to look forward to.
Yeah, and don't forget, Kory can really help you understand those 3 power days that come from knowing when your moon is rising. So that's another opportunity to phone into the show and understand when those power days are for you. And then you can put it into your yearly calendar so you can understand when you can put pedal to the metal in the projects that you're doing, and you have the gas and the juice and the chutzpah to get a job done.
Well, everybody has, we've got all the planets and everybody has a sun position and a moon position. And I just find it's really helpful to know where your sun and moon are. And that's a basic resonance that will be reignited, about every 29 and a half days. That's the new moon cycle. And so every 29 and a half days, you are going to get a rekindling of this natal innate resonance that you carry. And it just works. I have no idea how this stuff works, but it works.
Yeah, isn't that exciting? It's nesting of energies with energy. And when we have that alignment, which is sort of the cool thing that I learned in permaculture too, is when you nest systems together, then the incremental power is just magnified. So the more systems you enclose on a property, the more nesting of systems within systems, just like, our sun aligned with Sirius, with Galactic Center, just the more power that flows through.
Yes.
When we understand these alignments, then we can step into that flow and our life has more ease and grace. And if we don't know that, we could be struggling when we could just really just surrender and be carried by the current, the energy.
Right. And sometimes, Tyhson, it's important to struggle, and it's sometimes really important. It's important to feel, when you are, not at your best, and that's okay too. And I always say to people, it's like, if you're doing depression, do it well. And when you're doing joy, do it well.
It just means change is coming up. It's your time to change. So, look forward to getting through it.
Well, here's something I really learned in my life. It's just, no more judgment. Stop with the judgment. It is what it is. It's passing through.
Just passing through. We're just passing through this show. Absolutely. So, yeah, we're in 1 minute to go. So, pearls of wisdom as we wrap her up, Kory.
Just know that everything, like we are passing through.
We're just passing through.
And just, have the grace to enjoy and be grateful.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for tuning in for the show. We're back the same time, the same place, at the top of the hour at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday we're here for you. So put it in your calendar and come and join us and get your questions on dowsing energy healing answered. Find out about your moon rising, a little bit about what your astrological sign, what's in the stars, learn a little about gardening according to the planets and the moon. Lots of things to learn. So until next week, same time, same place, be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Bye for now.
Bye.